Last time, on the SBD World's Strongest Man, 6 of the best in strength athletics began their pursuit of a spot in this year's final. In his 9th appearance, Great Britain's Adam Bishop is off to one of his best starts ever. Latvia's Ivars Morkstelis, slow and steady, wins the race approach, is working. He's looking good into the home stretch. But Ivars has been snake-bitten here before. Just last year, he lost in the stone-off to Matthew Ragg, the man he competes against again. Ragg was victorious in the 3rd event and is now within striking distance of returning to the final. Also looming, America's Thomas Evans still with a chance here to avenge his disappointment from a year ago. Just 3 events left, but there's plenty of drama to spare. The 2024 SBD World's Strongest Man is next.
Welcome again to the 2024 SBD World's Strongest Man, coming to you from Myrtle Beach in South Carolina. I'm here with Eddie Hall, of course, the 2017 champion. Eddie, we're midway through qualifying Group 3, and 2 men are racing away with it in the battle for the automatic qualifying spot, Adam Bishop and Matthew Ragg. What about Bish?
Adam Bishop is a phenomenal athlete, 2 times Britain's strongest man. There's no doubt he is deserving to be in this field of athletes. He just doesn't seem to have much luck at the big competitions.
Hasn't had that so far this year. This is his best ever start to a World's Strongest Man competition. He has a 2-point lead from Matthew Ragg at the top of this group. After 5 events, whoever's in first place will go straight through to the final, and the next 2 men will face the stone-off. As it stands, that's Ragg and Morkstelis. But look out, Thomas Evans is right in the mix for that stone-off place. How about the events we got coming up, Eddie?
Well, I think Mr. Bishop detached his tricep a couple of years ago, which has really affected his overhead, so I can't see him doing too good on the Viking press. But then the car walk is probably one of his best events, so he might claw it back. So this heat is probably one of the most intense, as who's going to go through straight to the final and who's going to have to do the stone-offs. Excellent.
2 great events to watch. Let's get straight over to them then. It is the Globe Viking press up first, and for that, Colin Bryce and Danny Wallace.
Well, thanks, James. Thanks, Eddie. Danny Wallace here with expert Colin Bryce. And the athletes of Group 3 continuing their competition. Adam Bishop, current leader with 17 points, 2 points ahead of New Zealander Matthew Ragg in 2nd. Anything can happen with this, though. The Globe Viking press, Colin.
Yes, these fantastic-looking bits of kit. You have to press the world above your head, and it weighs 330 pounds, 150 kilos. You have 60 seconds to do as many reps as possible. And this is a push press. No double dipping allowed, no bending of the legs twice. That's one of the things to look out for.
Representing the United States.
Well, first up then, the American Thomas Evans, second time here. He has been paired with
representing Latvia,
the Latvian Morkstelis.
Well, I really expect the American to win this pair. He is a tremendous presser. Morkstelis, very athletic. Just doesn't quite have the same firepower in the shoulders that Tom Evans does.
And they're off.
Down, down.
Really, it is very much like having the weight of the world on your shoulders, Colin.
Down.
All 330 pounds of it.
Down, down.
I expect to see double reps out of both of these men. Actually, it's Morkstelis and that leg drive that's leading the way at the moment. Evans is almost too honest at his reps. Using more the upper arms and shoulders.
Morkstelis taking a momentary break there, allowing Evans to move up to 14. These are big numbers.
Yes, you are allowed a break. As long as you don't just jerk it straight off the platform. Now, 14 apiece. These are big numbers. We have just over 15 seconds to go. What can we hit? 15 for the American on the left. Morkstelis has no reply.
That might be it for both men, unless Evans can squeeze one more out, which he can.
Oh, good effort, 17.
Goodness me, sneaking an extra win in just at the end for 17. Morkstelis. By anyone's standards, 14 is great.
Absolutely superb. This man. Well, we knew he was a big presser. He impressed last year. winning the log pressing competition last year here at World's Strongest Man, but this may well be the best of all of them across all the heats in this Viking press.
Big presser, big impresser.
Absolutely.
You can have that.
Thank you. Tom Evans getting the crowd pumped.
Representing the United States, Rob Kearney.
We move on. Another American, Rob Kearney.
Another big presser as well, might I add.
Representing Ireland.
And he just can't stop himself, can he?
O'Dwyer.
The little pectoral dances of Pa O'Dwyer.
Yes, the Irishman certainly likes a crowd.
Well, and we're off. So Kearney calls himself the world's strongest gay. O'Dwyer calls himself the Limerick Lion.
And a big presser, Rob Kearney. Has had a tricep rupture not that long ago. He was going for the world record in the log, so that gives you an idea of the base he was at. And he looks pretty quick here. Already on 9 reps, 10 reps, double figures for Kearney.
He's just taking a moment. O'Dwyer not looking so strong. He was quicker, wasn't he? More explosive, but it's taken it out of him. Much more measured approach from Rob Kearney.
Yeah, takes his break. Ooh, maybe he took his break a little too late as he has nothing left to give. Maybe he didn't take a break long enough. Can O'Dwyer get higher than 7? No.
Well, both men beaten then. But double figures for Rob Kearney.
With 7 reps, give it up for Pa O'Dwyer.
O'Dwyer down the bottom for sure. He's half the reps Ivar's made, but I'm kind of disappointed with what Kearney did there. I think he is too, actually. He'd want to be up with Ivar's at least on 14.
Well, 11 reps puts him in 3rd so far.
Let's have a look. Certainly since the triceps injury, he's got a little less flexible in the elbows and shoulders. He was really relying all on leg drive there, Pa O'Dwyer. Burn out early.
Representing New Zealand,
So Matthew Ragg next to take on the globe. Up against Britain's Adam
Great
Bishop.
Britain, Adam Bishop.
And those are some strong shoulders.
You know, Bishop's got that tricep injury, as Eddie Hall mentioned. It's not so much the shoulders, it's the triceps you have to worry about. It's the full chain of overhead pressing. But Matty Ragg, interesting to see what he does here. I haven't seen him do Viking press too often. He looks awfully comfortable, though, doesn't he? And this is neck and neck at the moment. Bishop looking a little less comfortable, though.
It's allowing Ragg just a nip ahead. Ooh. Bishop markedly uncomfortable, resetting.
He's on 6 at the moment. He needs another rep if he's going to equal Pa O'Dwyer. 2 to go ahead. These are vital lifts to get to try and keep the score as high as possible. Remember, after 5 events, in other words, 1 event's time, the winner or the leader in the heat at that point goes straight to the final. 2nd and 3rd go to the stone off.
Well, Bishop really struggling to find a way of equaling Pa O'Dwyer. Manages it.
Yes.
And Ragg, meanwhile, has overtaken Kearney.
Yes, he has. He's not going to get the win in this heat, that's for sure. He goes into 3rd then. He gets points on Bishop.
Oh.
With 7 reps, put your hands together for
Managed
Adam
the
Bishop.
7 to tie for 5th. He'll take it. No choice, really.
Yeah, extra half a point, better than 6.
With 12 reps, let's hear it
And
for
12
Matthew
reps.
Ragg.
He's the New Zealander. Slides into 3rd.
But it might not have been another win for Matt Ragg. But a solid performance and ahead of Bishop vitally. The win, though, goes to Thomas Evans. 17 repetitions for the American. Can he do something with it?
Well, for the first time in this group, Adam Bishop has fallen from the top of the leaderboard, now half a point behind Ragg in 1st. It's going to be a tight race to the finish for the Kiwi and the Brit. So it's 1,000 pounds of human motorised traffic. The athletes take on the car walk when we return to the SBD World's Strongest Man.
World's Strongest Man on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by SBD, proudly supporting the world's strongest athletes. By Visit Myrtle Beach. 60 miles of where you belong. And by the WSM Store. Level up your strength. Power up with World's Strongest Man gear.
Welcome back to South Carolina in the penultimate event for Group 3. It is the legendary car walk. It sounds very complicated, Colin. Can you explain it?
It's exceptionally difficult. You just pick the car up and you run 20 meters down the course, 1,000 pounds on your back, 453 kilograms. Fastest time wins, Danny. Simple as that.
Well, you can, of course, drop the car. You have to pick it up again, though.
Makes it harder, of course.
Well, Matthew Ragg, currently in the lead. 19.17 was his time. Adam Bishop managed 15.2 in that fortunately convertible car. But did sustain an injury.
Yes, to the Achilles, it appears. It looks like Adam Bishop may well be out of this World's Strongest Man.
First up at the car walk,
While we await news of Bish, we move on to Ireland's Pa O'Dwyer, who will be taking on the might of Rob Kearney.
The SBD World's Strongest Man.
Very comfortable in that Beetle.
For the United States.
You wouldn't want to have to be a passenger next to him. Not a lot of room, is there? Tell you what, Rob Kearney is tremendous at this event. It's really just a super yoke. That's what this is. I've almost never seen him beaten, to be honest. I can't remember a time he was beaten, and he's not going to get beaten here. What's happened to the Limerick Lion?
Immediately, O'Dwyer just said, not for me, thank you. Whereas this guy motors through, crosses the line. Very fast time.
Oh, what just happened there? Goodness me.
12.07. O'Dwyer just at the traffic lights going, I'm not racing you.
Just out of gas? What happened there?
It's the very last World's
Well, a nice moment then for Rob Kearney. That'll be that for him, retiring now.
One more time for Rob
Yes, he's not going to make it into the start off. That's it. Rob Kearney's gone out with a bang, though. Goodness me, that was fast.
Well, two more athletes take on this epic event, the continuation of the car walk, when we return to the SBD World's Strongest Man. Well, hello, and we're back for the conclusion of Group 3's third event, the car walk. Now, Thomas Evans, the American, second time here at World's Strongest Man. Let's learn more about him and his SBD power profile.
Thomas Evans, 29, 6'3", 360, United States. The goal is to get to the final. This year, definitely coming in with a lot more confidence. You know, a lot less unknowns, more know what's coming next, how it's going to feel. I've had more experience on these type of implements before and this style of competition over multiple days. Proving to the guys I belong here was a big deal for me last year. Felt like we've achieved that, but now it's to make sure we keep progressing and keep getting invited back.
Big pump! There you go! There we go.
Still working with Dirks as my coach. Spent a lot of time working on the deadlift with him. So that is hopefully gonna show this weekend. I'm really enjoying being part of the group. You know, it's really unique when you're out there, you're battling to beat each other in a certain event, but you can't help but be friends with them every other moment. So it's just that's a really cool experience to be a part of. For me, being one of the strongest men in the world has always been one of my goals. I was one of the strongest football players to play at the time. It was less quantifiable. You couldn't necessarily prove that. But now I've found myself in a space where we are proving that we are the strongest men in the world. And that's kind of a big deal for me and a big deal for my family as part of my identity. Every year you get a little bit wiser, a little bit more experienced and kind of know what's coming, and a little bit stronger every year, a little bit faster every year, and just keep going.
Representing the United States.
And he's ready to go.
Evans.
Mighty American Thomas Evans, fourth after 4 events.
Representing
Seems to be well here, as does
Schmork
Stellis.
Take position.
They ready themselves?
On the whistle.
Well, the big American, having done so well in the previous event, the pressing. Follow up here, beats Smaug Stellis again. He's on the far side. The Latvian, closest to camera. Neither man as quick as Kenny, not even near. Evans goes down.
Well, very difficult to get that car up again and keep the balance. Those tyres biting, but look at that from Schmorkstellis.
Goes through the gears nicely. Damaged the car now. And Evans, oh no, he's not straight anymore. Got to try and correct the angle of attack here. Doesn't want to go out of the lane, he'll get disqualified.
This is a real struggle, isn't it? But he is a struggler and a battler. But my goodness me.
Gosh, how many squats with 1,000 pounds is he going to do? That's hard enough. Maybe it's just too high a pickup and it's catching the wheels, perhaps. If it does, it just bites the rubber and you go down.
Well, as soon as he found that balance, he just tried to dive with that car, didn't he?
Just before the minute there. He got it done, though.
With a time of 17.07 seconds.
So 17.07 puts him in second place. I mean, it was a hard task, wasn't it? The speed Kearney was going.
With a time of 55.58
struggling to
seconds.
find
Give it
that
up for
balance.
Thomas Evans.
He was basically fighting a car. Thomas Evans.
What a spread we've seen in this from Rob Kearney at 12 seconds to the Limerick line, who didn't get off the mark. Good result, though, from the Latvian. There is the winner, Rob Kearney, just over 12 seconds. The fastest we've seen so far from any group. As for Matty Ragg, well, the New Zealander goes straight to the final. Adam Bishop, of course, out of the question now that he's damaged his Achilles.
So Ragg is Group 3's winner, punched his ticket straight into the final. Adam Bishop, very respectful showing, has to drop out of the competition due to injury. But it's these two men, Schmorkstellis and Thomas Evans, who are going to battle it out in the ever-daunting stone-off to earn their place on the sport's biggest stage when we return to the SBD World's Strongest Man.
World's Strongest Man on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by SBD, proudly supporting the world's strongest athletes. By the WSM Store, level up your strength, power up with World's Strongest Man gear. And by Visit Myrtle Beach, 60 miles of where you belong.
Well, this is it. The event that will decide the 6 athletes who enter the SBD World's Strongest Man final. The stone-off.
You know you love it, the stone-off.
I do love it.
It's head-to-head, mano a mano. It's the man in second against the man in third for the final spot in the final.
United States,
And those men are
Evans.
the American Thomas Evans
Representing Latvia.
and the Latvian Schmorkstellis.
Schmorkstellis.
Both men covered in that tacky, that pine resin up the arms just to
On the whistle.
allow them to grip these giant stones, which do get slippy.
Already a little slip there from Evans, who has yet to make a World's Strongest Man final. As for Schmorkstellis, he's been there before. In fact, he's been in this position before, stoning off against another man. They both get 20 seconds in which to get it over. It starts on the side of the man who was in third coming into this. The man in second, Schmorkstellis, gets that one lift advantage. If it ends up on Evans's side, and Schmorkstellis will be the winner, and vice versa.
It looks like it might end up on Evans's side at this rate.
What's going on here?
And he's struggling to get to grips with, well, the ungrippable.
What? Well. He had discussed a bit of a bicep pain. He picked that up at the Arnold Classic. And, well, that's it. It's over. Done and dusted.
Well, a bit of an anticlimax for an event that can be one of the most exciting in the world. But it doesn't matter for this guy. Schmorkstellis has qualified for the World's Strongest Man final.
He's loving that. He doesn't have to duke it out, as the American, I'm afraid, has had to bow out. Painful for him.
Well, not the prettiest victories, but it doesn't matter for this guy, Schmorkstellis. He's through to the final, and he's with James and Eddie now.
Ivar, Latvia in the final. How'd you feel?
I feel happy.
Excellent. You always feel happy, though, which is one of the nicest things to see around the World's Strongest Man compound. But today, especially so. Job done, or job only just started?
I would say real job only started.
Excellent, excellent. We couldn't help but notice the amount of tacky that you athletes use to grip the stone here. This is an insane quantity of this sticky resin on your arm. Why so much?
It was investment.
Turned out you didn't need it that much, but you're through a direct stone off for the first time ever, because 2020 was the only time that you'd reached the final, and that was when it was an individual stone event. How tense were you coming into this?
I came to fight, and I didn't think about nothing, just to do how much I need.
Excellent. Question now is, how good is Ivan Smokestelis going to be in the final, Eddie?
He's going to be very good. Of course, he's historically done very well in the final. I mean, look at this. He's just so professional. Doesn't very often make mistakes. There's that much tacky on here. Just show it to the camera there. This is what tacky is. It's like, look at that.
Don't steal my tacky.
Well, this is what I'm trying to say. You just very rarely make mistakes. And what's the sort of frame of mind going into the final? What's your plan?
Hard work, and that's it. There's no other plan, just work hard.
It's been a good plan so far this year. Second in the Europes this summer. So what's the target, for the final? What would you be happy with?
Of course, podium, but everyone wants podium. And I would say if I get in top 6, it's a very good result.
Seems eminently doable for Ivan Smokestelis. Best of luck, Ivan Smokestelis, everybody.
Thank you.
Well, what's not doable for that guy? But it's Matthew Ragg and Smokestelis heading straight into the SBD World's Strongest Man final. American Thomas Evans just missed the mark, coming third in the group. Kearney ends his career in 5th in that group. Well, only 4 more spots left to join the World's Strongest Man final. Join us next time when Group 4 begins their journey fighting for their place in history. Who will find glory? For James Richardson, Eddie Hall and Colin Bryce, I'm Danny Wallace. In association with 45 Live, this has been a presentation of CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports.